And for the benefit, I know we're coming up right to the end of the scenario, so naturally now is when I figure out how to do the VOD presentation and talk directly to those who are watching this on YouTube, which is welcome and hello. And as usual, playing this evening are Hamus, which is Hintfishy.
Hello.
The one with the hair. And Dagwood.
I've got the same hair as Hamus is Hintfishy.
Played by Nightbites, who has all the hair in a different place, as you can tell by the front.
Yes. I couldn't grow it on top of my head, so I'm growing it on the bottom of the head.
Yep. It all works out. It kind of evens.
Exactly.
At some point I'll Photoshop the two images together and then it will just be a terrifying image.
Cousin it.
Yep. So, previous session, things got a little bit grim. Dagwood had to deal with an injury to one of Madame Bella's little hooker ninjas. Sustained in broken collarbone, sustained in the raid against Mama Lovers.
With a heart of gold.
Yes. There's got that frisson. Which seemed to provoke twitches and twinges amongst the viewers.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And amongst the players.
Yes. Which I'm not complaining about. Then, after an interesting evening where Hamus very nearly managed to out himself as a raging thief. And,
in other words, my dice rolled the way my dice roll.
Well, yeah. And Samuel, Delgrin's butler, pitched up to hire some ladies for the party. In 2 nights. So, actually...
That's assuming there is a party in 2 nights, given what happened at the end of the session.
So at the end of the scenario, it's just past dawn and Hamus was shaken awake by Merian, which is not the pleasant experience it really should have been, given that she was in the throes of a hysterical attack. Dragged him to town, Dagwood in tow. Although Dagwood did take time to change out of the Tamray costume.
No, he didn't.
Oh, no, he didn't. He's turned up as Tamray. Yes.
Hamus has Tamray in tow.
Yes.
But he didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, he was absolutely, in some respects, absolutely right, because Tamray has a reason to come and investigate this, and Dagwood doesn't.
Also, Tamray has armoured clothing, Dagwood doesn't.
Yeah.
That too.
By dawn's early light, Hamus and Dagwood survey the carnage in Galasweyn's marketplace. There the stalls and burrows normally set up. This time splashes of blood have started attracting flies. Neatly laid out in the centre, glistening intestines form a magical figure, and your only relief comes from the sight of the dug skulls set upon certain doorsteps. No townsfolk died for this grotesquerie.
When you say relief and skulls, has somebody made a necromantic bas relief test? Is that what you mean?
So,
oh boy.
An overview of the town centre. It's almost the end, and I finally got around to drawing it. And yes, CC 3+ can make anyone's mapping efforts look quite good.
Cartography 3+ enough.
Yeah, campaign cartography.
Not cheap, but you get stuff.
Yeah, that looked like, I mean, it doesn't look particularly professional now, but it looked like a total bag of spanners. And then I hit style sheets, and all of a sudden it's, oh, actually that's not bad. Suddenly the grass looks...
I know this is an actual play stream, not a mapping stream,
yeah.
But I'm still going to say what I have said so many times. Back when I was doing Map of Monday, when talking directly to people about CC3. The trick is, don't just draw maps when you need to.
Yeah.
Draw maps just for the sake of drawing maps. Draw it for the fun of drawing maps. Every time you do one, every time you experiment with one, you'll learn something new. And then when you need a map, you'll have those tools.
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
This is what I was thinking. I mean, I've been having tremendous fun. This is about the 5th iteration of this one. But I had the basic layout in my head because because I've been describing it, I know what the town centre in Galasweyn looks like.
Yeah.
And I hope that this basically matches what you guys have been dealing with. You've been through here so many times.
I hadn't realised there were so many wells.
Yeah, you can't see most of them, but let's be honest here. You're next to the water table. But people want their own. Because who wants to go down to the river?
When there's drowners.
Yeah. So...
Especially with the drowners.
Yeah. So having your own independent water supply suddenly sounds like a really good idea.
Yes.
Well, those three on the river side aren't that much better off.
No. But
There
it's
are some
marginally cleaner.
similarities between the world of The Witcher and that of AN other zombie apocalypse.
Yes. I'm just going to turn the fish up slightly because he's gone a bit quiet.
Let me know if I need to turn the music down.
It's okay at the moment.
I've realised also that if I want to mute myself, as apologies to anybody watching, I have a stinking cold. So I'm hopped up to the eyeballs on cold medication, but I may nevertheless mute both my camera and my microphone on occasion to do things that nobody needs to watch. I've realised that in order to do that, I'm going to have to mute my microphone through the mixer rather than through VStream, because otherwise you lose the music as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do appreciate it. I appreciate that tough days and illness have not kept you away from the games table.
No, enjoying this. Want to play.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, this should be the penultimate session. Please, God, let this be the penultimate session.
So, Fishy, how are we going to draw this out beyond into the new year?
Oh, we'll think of something. General incompetence.
Right, over here.
We'll get through it. We've got the ultimate pen. Sound like what you meant?
Ultimate pen of mapping. Hang on, let me just put that on the map layer to avoid me doing what I have a horrible feeling I will do, which is click and drag.
Yep.
So,
20 tip there. Don't put your maps on the token layer.
Hey,
And
Mecky.
greetings, Mecky at all.
Hi, Mecky.
We are ready for you as
And
well.
actually, yeah, because Drup was speaking at the time, so I didn't say greetings, Frog, but greetings, Frog as well.
Oh, indeed. Indeedy. I don't know.
He's ready. He may be the only one who is.
Clearly more ready than the players are.
Okay, from the map, let's have a quick challenge. From the map, can you pick out Tilda and Merion's house
Oh,
and shop?
That one.
hang on. I'm going to have to swap from the stream to the actual...
No.
Oh.
I'm guessing it's... Let me think. Well, it is one of the ones with the river at its back, I seem to recall.
Yep.
It
You won't fall off.
And from the description that we got at the end of last session, if I'm remembering rightly, I think it may be the one with all the blood in the front.
That's actually the bakers.
That's the bakers. Okay.
Okay,
So
so
I misremembered
one.
last week.
Yeah.
With the blood in the front.
It's the other
The other one
side,
with the
yeah.
blood. I was right about the blood, at least.
Flowers. What flowers? That's not flowers. That's blood splashes.
It's very similar.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's applying the shadow to the blood spots.
Yeah, okay. Again, not a Mappa Monday stream, but
No.
quick tip to anybody using this who wants to think this thing through. If there isn't already one in your style, copy the basic objects sheet, whatever it may be called, and call the new version, objects or whatever, flat, and then just turn the shadow off on that and make sure everything's on the right layer. Then you get all the rest of the effects absolutely fine, but without the drop shadow.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm quite happy with the drop shadow on the pentacle because that just looks sinister anyway.
That does.
Yeah.
I do the same thing with houses. I tend to create a copy of the housing sheet, but with a bigger drop shadow for tall buildings.
Okay.
So you have buildings and tall buildings, which works quite nicely.
Yeah. So that's the overview. I thought I'd give you the complete. So the Privates Club is along the road in that direction, to the left, as you look down. There's the only problem with the style sheets is it has rather minimised the roads. They're slightly faint now.
it varies from style to style what effects they use, and also on what settings you export the graphics
Yeah.
with as well. It's just a matter of experimentation.
Yeah. This we exported. I actually had to reinstall Campaign Cartographer 3 times completely today,
Oof.
which, given that that's CC3 Plus and all the updates,
Oof.
and Dungeon Designer and City Designer all needing to be done 3 times, that took a while.
I'm going to keep quiet about that.
Yeah.
I don't have all of the manuals yet.
Ah.
That's literally what I don't own for Campaign Cartographer. I don't have
Ouch.
everything else.
Yeah.
I do notice you say yet.
Yes, I haven't reinstalled Perspectives yet either. I bottled out. I decided I didn't need that.
Cosmographer, most recently character artist.
Okay.
All 3, or is it 4 now, symbol sets?
Oh yeah, symbol sets I need.
Additional symbol sets, yeah.
Okay. So, I'll bring it down to the town centre. The the skulls on spikes are not actually on spikes. The skulls on spikes are simply skulls, but I needed something that looked about right. So, certain of the buildings have skulls outside them, and there are scattered pieces of dog around the frontage of those buildings.
Yeah, lovely. So, I believe we ended last week going into the tailors.
You did.
To see what was up with Tilda?
Yes, you were indeed. There we go. And
sorry for the interruption, but
hype.
Yay! Yippee-doo. Yes, you had walked into the tailor's and found Tilda with a wadded up cloth pressed against her shoulder, which was soaked through with blood.
Guessing the cloth was soaked through with blood, not the shoulder.
Actually, both. Yes, I didn't add all of the graphics I could if I hadn't had to waste time with all the reinstalls today. Then that would have been a neater map, but I can play with it because I'm planning on gussying it up and making it look neater.
Yeah, it's quite sufficient for what we need.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it does the job.
Yeah.
I'd have been happy with the sketch map. That looks really cool.
This was easier than a sketch map, to be honest. I can't draw.
That's
Okay. So, yes.
Fried eggs and everybody's happy.
Yeah. Indeed. So, yeah, those wells are bigger than I expected, actually. I should have shrunk them slightly.
Yeah, I'm looking at them. They're about 4 foot across, aren't they?
They are, yeah. They are.
Either that or they're really, really tall is the other option.
Yeah. They're indicative wells.
Maybe the perspective. They're not really 4 feet across, but they are 20 feet.
So, what is the plan, guys? What are you doing? Marion is basically shaking like a leaf. Tilda is white as a sheet. The cloth, and she is bleeding from her shoulder.
Well, I'm going to be using my total lack of first aid skills to assess how injured Tilda is.
Okay, roll it.
Now, having seen
nat 1 of the day,
having seen a fairly heavy injury recently and how it was dealt with, can I pull on that experience and remember what they did and what I saw done to apply it here?
Yes, that's actually not a bad idea at all.
That was a bleeding wound.
It's an excellent idea that you do something, because I've got a total of 8 on my roll. So my knowledge of the severity of this wound comes down to she's been hurt.
Oh shit.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the difficulty. So, Knight, you're still making an untrained roll, but it's an easier untrained roll than Hamus's.
Hallelujah.
Merely Telly, somebody's betting on the ankle.
Right,
so just role-playing that result there.
Fair enough.
Okay. So, what's my penalty?
You don't have a penalty. You're just rolling the stat die for first aid instead of the skill.
Okay. That's a relief.
Yeah.
That gives me 16.
Wow.
Okay.
I have a 9 craft.
Yeah, you're a bit craftier than Hamus.
Picklocks and forgery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just put points into picklock in the hope it would make up for my crappy craft. It doesn't.
Your crappy craft.
My crappy craft.
No,
yeah.
I put points into craft thinking I could turn it to a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
Which you have.
Fortunate that.
Yeah. I spy somebody who, when he gets XPs, is going to be upping his first aid skill to anything. Right.
Yeah. Assuming I live that long.
I'm assuming he has disguise as well, because you do the disguise thing, so craft adds to that as well. So.
Another reason I have a high craft, because I didn't have the points for disguise.
Up the stats instead. Fair enough. That makes sense. Right. Yes. What she is doing is reasonable. Looking, if you examine her shoulder, Tamray can tell that it's a tear across the left shoulder blade. Across the front of the left shoulder.
Okay.
Basically, it's opened up about there, if you can see it.
Yep.
And the flap has been torn vertically down.
Oh my word! How far?
About 3 inches. You can see the muscle underneath. What she has done is she's trying to hold it in place to stop the bleeding with the cloth over the top.
Yeah.
But it's a tough angle to do on yourself. So what you can do is you can basically help her replace the flap of skin.
We need super glue and a stapler, and we need them now.
I was just thinking super glue.
Unfortunately for you.
Neither has been invented, yeah.
No.
Yeah. Right. Sorry, I didn't catch your name. Miriam? What was your name? No, you're clearly not in a state. You, Skelliger. Help this lady with the wound. If you put pressure on the wound here, hold it in place. It will help hold the wound in place and staunch the bleeding.
Right. Amos will do as he's told and will glare at Tamray. He will not have to fake not liking Tamray because he's a friend of Dagran, because he's genuinely glaring at Dagran at this point.
Right. I would like a courage check, please, from Hamus.
From Hamus. Hamus is a Skelliger. He's okay on courage.
He is.
That's a 16.
That's fine. And the other person who has to make a courage check is Tilda.
He's also human, so he could have re-rolled it if he needed to.
She could have re-rolled it, yeah.
Trying to remember these rules.
As
we've missed
Tilda if
so
needed.
many rules over the course of this scenario so far.
Yeah.
But then, the first time we played this game, that's the way it works.
And we're remembering the important ones.
I mean, we don't have a physical rulebook.
God, that is so much easier.
I really want a physical rulebook.
Yes.
But we do have a bookmarkable rulebook.
Yeah.
Now we have the bookmarked rulebook.
It's a lovely PDF and the bookmarks are great, but
Yeah.
I still want. I just like having a physical.
Yeah,
book.
you can't beat the feel of having the tome in
And
your
I
hand.
like having both as well. I like having the PDF open on one page and being nicely searchable, while I've got the rulebook in front of me on the things that I know I need right now.
Searchable PDFs, gift of the gods, as far as I'm concerned, for the GM.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Okay. So Tilda is, again, she is very, very, very pale. Now you're up close, you can see that it's under her arm, where she had it pressed up. You can see the blood extends all the way down the side of her shift. So she's been bleeding a while. Bear in mind, Merian, of course,
Has been out and back.
Ran all the way out.
So she's had the time it took us to get back and the time it took Miriam to get there.
Yes.
Holy moly.
Yes. And she's sitting up. So...
That doesn't seem like a right thing to be doing. I think perhaps she needs to lay back down.
Okay. There
Can
is
you
the
help
sofa.
her? Yeah, right. Let's see if we can help this lady to the sofa, and perhaps see if we can get her more comfortable.
Cushions. She'd need cushions, yes?
Yes, cushions would be good.
Okay. I can do
We
cushions.
can help them. Let's see.
I don't know. Tilda, do you ever do comfortable?
Sometimes. Not
No,
at
I'm
the
not too
moment.
sure. I've never seen you do comfortable since I've been here.
You really are an absolute...
I, Can we talk while moving? Perhaps. I think we could certainly do to get. Sorry, did you say her name was Tilda?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tilda into a more comfortable position.
That would be great.
But do keep the pressure on the wound there.
Right.
Keeping the pressure on the second wound.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is there a healer in town at all?
There's
The bloody army camp just outside. There's going to be one.
There's nobody in town. There's the Nilfgaards and there's Madame Shadewin. I think she's closer.
Right.
I don't know why I came to get Hamus. I shouldn't have gone to get Hamus. That's ridiculous. But I couldn't think of anybody else who could help. And there was a drowner in here, and then we hit it with a broom, and then it ran away. And
I must say, the whole drowner thing is a little concerning.
I suspect the debris in the centre brought them up from the river's edge.
You can see the back door is wide open.
So, what I was concerned about was the fact that if it comes back now, I'm kind of stuck here.
Well, once we've got Tilda into a comfortable seat, I'll go and shut the back door.
Okay. Yep, that's perfectly reasonable.
Well, now, is there safe from monsters? I've shut the door.
Is there a deadbolt on it at all?
There is a bar.
That'll do.
The front door has a bolt in it. The back door simply has a bar.
Then let's drop the bar, rather than drop the base.
Sorry, I've just read what Maggie put in chat.
Yeah. Personality, I rolled nervous for personality. I'm sorry.
Yep. Not a problem.
I'm also probably struggling a little bit at the moment with my other hand while keeping the wound, the makeshift bandages pressed tightly on the wound. Trying to keep Ratty, my pet rat, away from all the blood.
Yes, good point.
Yes.
The little bugger's going to be wanting some of that.
Yeah. And well played for remembering that you have a pet.
Yes, well played for remembering for the second time ever in 9 episodes. The thing that is listed on my character sheet as most valued person.
Eek, fecking eek.
Eek.
Right. So.
Roll VTO.
What was that hamster? Oh, that was Roland, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Brain fry. So.
Rat veins.
So, Tilda is being ministered to by Hamus on the couch.
So, directions to this lady who you said was Nera. What did you say her name was, Madam?
Shadewin. She, sort of herbalist and, she sort of helps
the village
everybody.
wise woman, will you just get moving?
Where do I find her?
Hang on.
Because I'm pretty sure that even Dagrid hasn't had directions to her house yet, so I don't think he actually knows where to go, even if he wasn't running the facade of Tamray.
Okay. You take the road leading up past the horse. Now Tilda is on the couch. Marian is visibly trying to calm herself. You take the road up past the horse. Instead of bearing right, which takes you round to the manor, you bear left slightly, and it's up the hill and there's a little gully, and that's where the house is.
Thank you. I shall return post haste.
Yeah. Right.
I'm gonna hurry my very posh Nilfgaardian backside off to Madame Shadewin's gaff.
Okay. Okie dokie. So yes, you're familiar with this road. You know that basically yes. If you keep going straight ahead and then to the right, you'll hit the Baron's place. You'll also head round towards where Delgrin lives. There is, however, a smaller path which leads through a bramble thicket. And I don't mean through as in push your way. I mean as in either side.
Yep.
The road...
It's the quicker route, is it?
Yeah.
Does it look like a suitable place for an ambush?
The bushes are... Actually, yeah, make me a practice paranoia check.
An old practice paranoia. Why would anyone play anything but a criminal in this game? You get practice paranoia.
Because not everybody hates their GM.
Right, practice paranoia is an
everybody
empathy
hates
skill.
being ambushed.
Well, yeah, there is that.
Is practice paranoia empathy or is it intelligence?
It is intelligence.
It's intelligence, yes.
Crap.
I want a multi-class. I want
11.
a Witcher with practice paranoia.
What is your practice paranoia skill?
1.
Oh, yeah, you
I'm
just...
a bit more paranoid than you.
That was one of those ones where I thought it was a trait rather than a...
Yeah, forgot you
I
had to
needed to
point
put
into
points
it.
in.
Yeah.
So I had to jiggle some points around just to get anything into it.
Yeah. Right, if you were looking to ambush someone, this wouldn't be a bad place to do it. However, it doesn't feel like anyone's set up here.
How much longer is the longer route to this place going to take?
The longer route, presumably you could make it up the hill and then bear left, but you're probably looking at an extra 5-10 minutes.
Sod it. Belting through.
Okay. Yeah, the bushes are either side of the narrow path. So you are having to be a little bit careful, but if you're belting through... No, you're okay. Your clothes have a couple of catches on them from the thorns, but you're unharmed.
It's okay. They're seamstresses. I'm sure they can fix it.
Yeah, this is it. You're doing good work for a tailor and a seamstress. So frankly, if she lives, Tilda will probably fix it out of gratitude. So the road slopes up a little.
If she lives.
Yeah.
I just gave my most guileless smile. The road slopes up and then drops away in front of you, and indeed there is a small gully in which, appropriately enough. Whoa, thank you. Sits that. You're coming.
Okay.
Yeah. You are indeed walking past trestle table with carefully tended herbs, and you can see a deliberate fenced off piece of garden in which flowers you can't readily identify by sight grow in rows.
That's okay. I'm not particularly fussed about identifying them by sight. I'm not interested in the flowers. Up to the door. Knock on the door.
Knock, knock. Door creaks open.
Hi. I've been sent here to get help. I'm top.
Okay.
Is there anyone actually answering the door, or is the door just opened on its own?
The door opens,
and I'm talking to no one.
Yeah, as your eyes adjust to the darkness inside, which is a couple of candles as opposed to the bright dawn outside. Something's happened.
Oh no.
A large central trestle table has been overturned, and a couple of jars have been smashed on the floor. There are traces of some sticky ointment on the floor.
Oh no.
So, that's just what you can see from the doorway.
Draw dagger.
Okay.
They already know I'm here because they have knocked on the door. B, I've started blathering away, so they know where I am.
Okay.
Literally, as the door creaked open, I started saying that, hi, I've come here to get you help. So I was expecting either there be a woman there or... So I was talking to nothing, hence suddenly stopping.
Mm-hmm.
So, dropping to a more ready stance.
Okay.
Dagger ready for a scrap. Before I step inside, another cursory look around, looking for signs of bodies, movement, and listen for movement, shuffling of feet.
Okay, make me an awareness check, please.
Awareness. 17.
Right. You can hear movement from inside the shack. No, it's not a shack, it's a hut. You can hear movement from inside. Seems to be
it's
coming.
halfway between the two. Maybe it's a shut.
Or a hack.
Or a hack, yeah.
Which gives dungeon hack a whole new meaning. You can hear movement, and it appears to be coming from below you.
It's a really, really loud ant.
Not directly, at your
but
feet.
on the floor
you.
below.
Yeah.
Okay. Step inside, shut the door, look behind where the door was as I shut it.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to stab someone that's just stood there like a statue.
No, there's nobody there. There is, however, a shelf which obviously contained clay pots, which now contain shards thereof. Not everything is smashed, but yeah, somebody's done a number on it.
Okay. Look for a trapdoor.
Okay, it's not going to take much to see because it's open. And it lies... Normally you would guess it's covered by the floor woven matting on the floor, which has been pulled back and is behind the overturned table. So in the back, next to the back door of the hut, which you guess leads round to the garden, there is indeed an open, neatly made shaft with a ladder protruding a little.
Okay. Are there still lit candles in the house in this floor?
There are 2 candles lit that you can see.
Pick one of them up.
Okay.
You mentioned a back door. Is that shut or open?
That's shut.
Okay. So, holding my dagger with the blade facing down, candle at the top of the hand, so I've got blade, candle.
Okay.
I'm still able to hold the ladder on the way down with light and blade.
2 to 3 points of contact.
To publish his dagger candle combination as a life.
Yeah, if it's a mummy all wrapped in threads, I won't stab it. I'll just burn it.
You just burn it, yeah. Burn, baby, burn. Right, what I am going to take from you is I'm going to take a will roll as you climb down, because you've got candle wax dripping onto your hand, which is not the world's most pleasant experience. Unless you're into that.
May feel otherwise.
And suddenly we're back into kink shaming.
And back into kink shaming, yes. But okay, generally when you're up a ladder having
We weren't shaming him for it. We were just pointing out it was a possibility.
Right, I'm going to put 2 points of luck into this.
Okay.
Which gives me a total of 13.
Okay. That is enough. The the wax strips, you are braced for. You are ready for them. Because it does hurt, and if they'd happened unexpectedly, then that causes you to go, ow! Oh, shit! And you'd have either dropped the dagger or fallen off.
Or both.
Or both, yes. Oh, Muggle. So, you make your way awkwardly down the ladder. There is light coming from below.
A really big rat.
Yes. One day you're going to actually have a cat. Last time you had a cat familiar, though, somebody fireballed it. You, I think.
Last time I had a cat familiar was when I had a pet rat. Now I've got a rat in game.
And you've got a pet cat.
It's the way it works.
Yes. Otherwise known as it's cold and I don't care because I've got a furry hot water bottle.
Yeah. I'm just keeping him under control there at the moment, to be honest.
He wants feeding again.
No,
so the light that's below me, does it appear to be in someone's hand and they're readying to shiv me up as soon as I get to the bottom of the ladder?
It's not moving. That's as far as you know.
Okay, that's a good start.
It is golden light, much like the beeswax candles that you're carrying, which you can now identify as beeswax because A, it's dripped on you and it's a different texture to normal wax, and B, it smells nice.
Okay.
It's definitely not tallow candles. Right, you reach the bottom of the ladder, and find yourself in a gallery. It's the best way you can describe it. Niches are carved into the walls of a longish corridor, which runs for maybe 15, 20 feet. And in those niches are various types of mushroom and toadstool.
Okay.
What grabs your attention, though, is the woman lying in a crumpled, whimpering heap on the floor with a candle sitting next to her as she tries to keep her hands warm. At the sound of your boots hitting the floor, she doesn't look up, but she whimpers, "I'm sorry, don't hurt me again."
I mean you no harm, madam. I came here seeking your assistance.
You... Who are you? I don't know your voice.
My name is Temray. I'm new in town, you wouldn't recognise me. A lady in town has been wounded by a drowner. She, her companion, and their friend need your help.
She turns her head towards you, and you see two ragged holes where eyes once were. I think I need your help, sir.
I think you probably do. What can I do?
She pulls herself awkwardly to her knees. And
I'll walk into her throughout this, though. I have no healer training. I will warn you of this in advance.
Well, fortunately for all of us, I do. What I don't have is the ability to get up there on my own. You can see now where she was lying. There are pools of blood. But not a huge amount, not an excessive mortal wound amount. But as she turns to face you and pulls herself up onto her knees, you see that in addition to the eye sockets having been gouged out, you can see that she has a huge bruise running down one side of the face, as of a heavy blow, and she's cradling her left hand. Under all that, you'd say she was maybe no older than 40 or so. She's not your white-haired hag level. Someone did this to me, and I need some help now.
Yes, I can see that. Tell me what you need me to do.
Hanging behind, and she will battle off a name you don't recognise. The third shelf down, with the red caps and the white spots. There's there's sacks, little sacks. If you could cut one open, to give me a strip.
Does that description ring bells with anything that was still intact upstairs or down here?
It looks like one of the toadstools growing from the niches down here.
Okay, then I shall do exactly that. But before I start messing with any kind of fungus, just in case.
Good call.
Actually,
in the darkness. Okay.
I have a water flask, actually.
Okay, go for it.
Do you need a drink of water before I start?
Please,
I'll give him my water flask.
Is it day or night?
It is day.
He came last night.
You've been down here this time. Once I've given her the flask, I'm back to getting the sack she wanted and whatever.
Yeah. You can find, you didn't see it initially because they are sitting at the end and at the back of these darkened niches. Such things grow in the dark. You can find small Hessian sacks, presumably used for gathering the crops.
Yep.
So you're going to do as requested?
I shall indeed, yes.
Present her with the cut to strips thing, and she first ties one around her, or attempts to tie one. Her left hand is not cooperating.
Yeah, if the minute it's cleared, the left hand, what can I do? If it's just tying
Over
knots,
my
I can
eyes. Over my eyes. I
effectively blindfold her. Although she has no eyes, but yes.
Yes.
A bandage across.
Yes. I can't move without risking additional leakage from the eyes, and I don't want to lose any more blood than I have to.
Understood.
I've lost enough already. And you're
I
right,
shall-
fish.
Replacing it's a bugger. Amazon don't deliver here.
So, yes, you can tie the strip around her eyes, which it starts to seep through. But it's marginally less disturbing, and also will presumably stop her losing more blood than she needs. Injured, you say?
Yes. A drowner came through the back door to her house and tore a strip from her shoulder down towards her chest.
So she'll be losing blood.
Yes. The wound is currently held tight and padded, so the wound is staunched. She's being laid down in a comfortable position.
Oh, good.
But we are not healers.
No. Oh, bloody hell. Excuse me a moment. We have a new highest ever roll.
13 on a D10.
We now have a new highest roll.
Mm-hmm.
A total of 58.
That's impressive.
That is good.
I wanted to give her a courage check.
Sounds like she succeeded.
She's in pain. But she draws herself up as far as possible.
Looks across at you and says, "Am I bothered?"
Yeah. She doesn't really look anywhere, to be fair. I have herbs that can...
She can look, she just can't see. It's a different thing.
I have herbs that can staunch the bleeding. I can tell you what to do, but obviously I can't do it. But you're going to have to help me up the ladder.
Of course. Right. What's my body? 5.
Okay.
It's not like I can fireman's carry her up the ladder.
No.
I'd need at least 2 or 3 more points of body to think about that, I reckon.
Oh no, I reckon you could do it. You've got a 5. 5 is actually not bad.
5's not bad. Let's have a look on body skills. It would be a physique check.
Of course, I don't have the physique skill, so it's just going to be a body check.
Body check, yeah.
Yeah, see, 5 comes under the heading competent.
Yeah.
First stat. It's 3 to 4 is everyday, 5 to 6 is competent, 7 to 8 heroic. So, you know, you're not Schwarzenegger, but 5 to 6 is actually an above average strength and build. So
Yeah, I was built for speed, not for power.
So
Okay.
You could give it a go on the fireman's carry.
But if I mess up, I'm going to aggravate her injuries.
yeah, that's the tricky part.
Right. I'll help her up to her feet.
Mm-hmm.
That'll give me a chance to assess how injured and mobile she is.
Yeah.
Because if she can at least grip the stairs, I can use my shoulder under her backside to help her up without having to carry her.
Okay. Her right hand appears to be okay. Her left hand she's carrying in an attitude of extreme pain. And in fact, as you get her up, she will ask you to tie her left
in a sling.
hand
Just
in a sling across her body. As soon as she
out of
mimes
interest.
it, you think, hang on, I saw that. You actually saw that yesterday.
I saw that last night.
Yeah. So you actually know how she means.
Just out of interest, you become encumbered at 50 kilos.
Yeah.
And you get a -1 to reflex, dex, and speed for every 5 kilos past that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So -1 to, what was that? Reflex, dex, and speed?
Reflex,
Yeah.
dex, and speed, yeah.
Okay.
You weren't supposed to do this on your own. I will just say that now. Encounters that are going to happen and happen at different times. But what the hell?
You weren't supposed to do this on your own, so I'm very sorry about the 6 death knights.
I'm hurt.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 7.
Yeah, you don't get death knights
Yeah,
in
there aren't
this.
death knights in this system,
No, no, it's wraiths.
Right, so yeah, another Hessian sack,
Okay.
and then sling the arm up.
Okay. Right.
If you are able to at least make headway on the ladder, I can support you from below. I don't think I have the strength to carry you up myself, but I can support you.
Well then, that will have to do. She makes her way, and you can see now she's got bare legs. Is not wearing her shoes. Is wearing a dress, fortunately for her. But you can see her legs are heavily bruised as well. Although her worst injuries are the eyes and the hand. So yes, she makes her way, running her right hand along the wall to the ladder.
Right, I wasn't going to let her. I was going to guide her to the ladder because clearly she can't see.
No.
I was going to say, right, there's the ladder. Off you go.
Yeah.
No.
Fortunately, she she comes down here a lot. B, quite often in the dark, and C, it's a narrow corridor, so there's a limit. But
Yeah.
yes, if you guide her in the right direction, as opposed to letting her walk all the way to the far end of the corridor, that would be the best idea. So, yes, she sets her one foot and her right hand on the ladder, and starts to pull herself up painfully.
I shall apologise for the position of my hands and support her from beneath as she goes up.
Young man, you have nothing to apologise for. It's hardly the first time.
Nevertheless, I was brought up in a certain manner.
Make me an awareness check.
"15.
She's been speaking Nilfgaardian to you the entire time.
Was I replying in Nilfgaardian perchance and just not noticing?
After your initial... yes, after your initial
It
greeting.
makes sense. You
Yeah.
speak Nilfgaardian if she greeted you in that
Yes.
language.
You just naturally...
Yeah.
She heard your accent.
Yes, the posh one rather than
Yes.
the more shamanic one.
Yes. She has been replying to you in Elder speech, basically. So, I would like to take a physique roll,
God.
and it's going to be from both you and her.
Right, I will put 2 more luck into this.
I was about to say, Fish, would you like to roll for Madam Shadewind? But you know what? I'm not necessarily thinking that's the world's greatest idea.
I mean, if you wanted to fail, then obviously.
Do you want to do it?
No, that's fine. You carry on.
Okay. Yeah, okay, fair enough. The 9's a good one.
Yeah, it's better than yours.
Well, I'm glad she did okay, because I got 12, including the luck.
Oh. Ouch. Okay. She makes it about a third of the way up the ladder, hooks her right arm around the rung. And her head falls forward and she's panting heavily.
Okay.
Some more help, young man, would be appreciated.
I need a rope and a pulley. Right.
Yeah, if you have one.
We're going to have to piggyback this.
Okay.
We're part way up the ladder.
Yep.
Going back down and starting from scratch isn't an option.
Okay.
Madam, as improper as this may seem, I need you to sit on my shoulders.
Oh, there's an offer I haven't had in far too long.
You'll still need your right hand to guide. It will be
Yes.
slow, but we will take it one step at a time. With
Okay.
the drive coming from me.
Right.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Then let's do this.
Right. This manoeuvre is going to be a dexterity check.
Oh shit, Dex, not reflex, damn it.
Oh no, sorry, I take it back. Athletics comes under reflex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dex is more fine stuff.
Yeah. Dex is basically everything from the elbow down.
Yeah, that's not a bad description.
Yeah. So, I will take... Oh dear, it's going to be... Yeah, it's going to just be a reflex check.
Reflex or athletics?
Athletics is under dexterity.
Athletics is under dexterity. Which would you prefer, reflex or athletics? Is there a reflex skill that fits?
There's no reflex
No.
skill that fits. However, this is more a use of the reflex skill. So what we're going to do is roll your athletics under reflex. So,
Athletics skill and my
Yep.
reflex skill.
yeah,
Okay.
it's just a different way of using it.
You've just ruled in my favour. Thank you.
Fair enough. Exactly, Dev.
Under that ruling, I'm 14 before I roll the dice.
Excellent. Okay, roll it.
So basically I need to not roll a 1.
Please don't roll a 1. Okay.
18.
Excellent. Okay. She is jerkily grabbing at the alternate rungs as you make your way up. Between bracing yourself against the ladder and the back of the shaft, and you can support the pair of you. You are exhausted by the time you make it to the top, though. Make me a endurance check to see just how knackered you are, which is under body.
Shit. Oh,
All good?
surprisingly, 13.
Yay.
Without use of luck.
Okay, well that could be worse.
Yeah.
Right. So, you can, she says, moving to the healing checks. So, you can make it up, and you are in no fit state to do anything for a few minutes afterwards while you get your breath back. And she crawls to a sitting position against the wall of her hut, sniffing at the air, which is now filled with the smells of the spilled ointments and crushed herbs.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. You are going to need certain herbs, which, if you crush them and bind them over the wound, will stop the bleeding. But then you will need to get the wound closed. And that's going to be bandage and needlework.
The lady injured is a seamstress, as is her friend.
Oh, not Marion. Oh, poor girl.
It was Marion that came for help.
Tilda's injured.
Yes.
Bastards. Right. Drowners, you say? You're sure?
That is what they described.
Very well. Right.
There is more to the tale, but drowners are the cause of this particular injury. There is more going on in the town.
Of course there is.
There is a mystical mark on the centre of the town. Dog entrails everywhere. Skulls in front of doors. It is not a pretty sight.
She starts swearing quite loudly.
In Nilfgaardian or a language I don't understand?
You're reasonably sure Elven.
Okay.
Because it's clearly related, but some of the
Elder
pronunciation's different. And you're almost sure that, you can't do that with a tree and an elk. And no matter how big the antlers are. Okay. So, you are now recovering your breath. I can tell you what you need. I don't know if anything in here is left intact.
Not a lot.
I'm not surprised to hear. But first things first. Poor Tilda needs help.
Indeed.
Right. So what she does is she will direct you to various plants, describing them one by one by colour and smell.
I kind of have the image of a slightly about-faced... oh god, what was that TV show called? Dungeoneer?
Oh, Nightmare.
That's the one.
Where am I? In a room.
She's the one wearing
With
the helmet, but
yeah.
she's giving the instructions to a guy that doesn't know a damn thing and just has stuff in front of him.
Spellcasting. Yes. HALP.
That's largely where I'm at right now.
Yep.
So I'm listening to everything she says to the letter.
Okay.
And if I'm not sure, describing what I'm looking at, is this it?
Right. Okie dokie. Let's just go there. So, give her a check. Oh yeah, that's not a problem. Right, she describes 3 plants to you.
Mm-hmm.
She initially rattles off their names, but that doesn't really mean a lot to you. Then she starts breaking it down by colour of flowers, colour of leaf, what the leaves look like, what the leaves smell like. Make me an awareness check, please.
Okay. Uh, 13.
Okay. In the hut, the only one that you can find is a bunch of the first type of flower she told you about, which she said needs to be crushed and mixed with water into a paste. You can't find anything else. This place has been gone over quite nicely.
Okay.
However, she has a garden outside.
I have the first on your list. If you can point... Presumably I know what a mortar and pestle looks
Yes.
like. If there's one undamaged,
Yeah.
I can give her the one that I've just found.
Yeah.
The mortar and pestle. And the water flask.
Mm-hmm.
There's the first one you asked, and I'll put her hands on the mortar and pestle and the water flask.
Okay. It's heavy, and pestle and mortar is heavy enough that she can use it one-handed. So
I'm now going out to the garden.
okay. Make me another awareness check, please.
I've checked. I'm completely unaware.
That's more like it. 18.
Can I have an intelligence check from Hamish, please?
Ooh, I say.
He's been gone an awfully long time.
Yeah.
6.
Okay. Carry on then. That's fine.
It is entirely possible to roll a die of 0 in this game. Because I just did.
Yeah. You also need to look over your left shoulder.
Yes, I know. I can see him on the camera.
Oh, of course. He looks like he's bouncing for a pounce.
That's because he is.
Okay. So, you can find with ease the remaining 2 plants in the garden.
Whew. Excellent.
One, you need all the berries, you've been told. And
Okay.
the other, you need the actual whole plant itself.
Right. In which case, if I need the whole plant, I've got pockets.
Mm-hmm.
Put the berries in a pocket.
Okay.
Is there anything like a shovel or something?
Yes.
Great.
It's a garden. Yeah, it is.
If there's better yet a trowel, because that's probably more appropriate, I'm going to dig the thing up so I get the roots as well. You said the whole plant. I'm not leaving the bloody roots behind.
Okay.
We'll get the whole damn thing.
Yep, you can indeed. You're looking at something, it's a bit dandelionish, to be honest. It's not spiky, it's sort of fuzzy.
Great, dandelions here, we're saved.
I was going to say, you've just dug up a bard.
And you can indeed dig up, and at the ground there's quite a deep taproot. Almost the same size as the foliage above ground.
Bloody hell.
So, yes, you can indeed dig that up. Sorry, I'm just looking at the tail tentacle.
I was just instructing him to either lie down or sod off. He has declined to do either.
Oh, you're the one wanting cats. So, you come back into the hut.
Technically, I didn't.
True.
They were dumped on me.
True.
For those unaware at home, by the way, Pippin here and his brother, who we unfortunately no longer have, were rescue cats.
Yes. Rescue kittens.
Tiny kittens.
So, you can progress back into the hut and are presented with stuff falling off. Are presented with the mortar filled with a distinctly sticky and smelly paste. Did you find everything else?
Yes. I have the berries in my pocket, and I have the whole plant, roots and all.
Good. Wait. You need to put this on first. This will stop any bleeding. This will close the blood and stop it coming out.
You need to put this on first. Hands him an apron.
The berries.
Stop the blood.
The berries you need to give to her one at a time. They will ease the pain. But only one at a time. And if she falls asleep, stop.
If she's asleep, I wouldn't be able to give her. Never mind. Yes.
Then you will need to sew the wound to stop any further blood. Then crush both the plant, the stem, and the root together. But that has to be done fresh. And make a poultice in a bandage. And then lay that over the whole wound. That will stop the infection. She's just gesticulating with the wrong hand.
Thank you. Once I have seen to Tilda, I will see if I can return to further assist you.
I think I will need to go to town.
Then come with me.
I cannot. I'm in no position to come now. I can't walk far. Come back with a cart or something.
Understood. Stay safe. If they might return, stay hidden.
If you see.
I will need a lift. Fetch Farmer Uber.
Be careful. I assume he's gone, but he may still be here. I think he's mad.
Who's he?
Gentleman with the knife.
Oh, excellent. Do you have a... Never mind, I have a satchel I can put this in.
Okay. Yep.
I have a satchel.
Yeah, having another nightmare moment, you've got to be careful what you put in your satchel. You eat it. Okay, so I take it you're headed back to town as fast as your 2 little legs can carry you.
Yes. Now, being of speed 9, my 2 little legs can carry me pretty darned quick.
Right. Okay, make me a roll against your luck stat then.
Is that including the 4 points that I've spent, or does it just purely
It's your whole
on the stat?
stat, yeah.
Whole
It's your
stat,
whole
okay.
stat. This is a check to see whether or not you take any damage running through the brambles.
Okay, so the red die is a 10. The blue die is also a 10.
Jesus. Okay. You
So
basically...
28.
Oh, Jesus.
34.
So you dodge between each individual thorn with the grace
winning
of...
lottery ticket on your way through.
Yeah. Grab a winning lottery ticket, accidentally marry the king's daughter. Sheesh. Interesting noise. Can I hear? Oh, Knight.
Oh dear. We've lost you, Knight, but we are getting feedback. Because it swapped over to the wrong input.
Okay, the feedback stopped. That's a good thing. Say something. Okay.
Well, then don't say something be like that. See if we can.
I think something got knocked, possibly. It was a bit random. It sounded like there was a tinkle and then feedback.
Given the way our streams normally go, maybe we all of us really ought to have a transmission interrupted due to technical error screen ready.
Yeah. This is the problem. We're trying to run stuff on enthusiast level gear.
That's it. Mickey and us figured it out.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to... No, we can't hear you. There's some feedback and that's it.
Yeah.
No. No, I'm getting noise of connection getting plugged back and forth, but that's it. Oh, and he's gone away.
Yes, he has indeed.
Okay, I'm going to head back briefly to Hamus.
Okay.
And give you another intelligence check. Actually, this is going to be an awareness check. I take it back.
An awareness? Oh, I'm much better at awareness. And that's a much better roll. So that's a 19.
Okay. Knight's at least moving again, so that's a plus.
Oh yeah, that's a bonus.
Yep. So, a few minutes ago, Tilda stopped whimpering, which you get the feeling was not deliberate, but couldn't really be helped.
Mm-hmm.
So she went quiet a couple of minutes ago, and it's just taken you a minute to realise that she's no longer helping press the bandage to her shoulder.
Oh, wacko.
She does seem to have passed out. You said you don't have first aid, do you?
No, I have no actual skill in first aid at all.
Oh, and you're frozen as well. Oh, now you're moving.
That's what happened at my end.
Yeah.
Craft check?
Yes.
Oh, for God's sake.
And you're frozen again. This is really weird.
Oh, yeah, that's at my end. Oh, there you go. It's just... Okay, I do not know what's going on there. That is at my end.
Oh, the feedback stopped.
Ah, has it? In which case, I'll turn him back up again.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
Okay. So. Yes, that craft check. Okay. What did you roll on your craft check?
Oh, 8.
Okay. You don't know a nice way of waking somebody up when they've fainted. You can't think of one offhand.
I'm just going to keep applying pressure and waiting for Tamley to come back with the healer. There's nothing else he can do.
Okay. Right. Fair enough. So you're actually doing pretty much, you're doing the first aider, waiting for the EMTs to turn up.
Yeah.
Right.
The GM, if I were her, I'd be asking for body checks about now because of how long he's been having to keep a constant pressure on this thing without really letting up. So body check then.
Endurance, please.
Okay, endurance, which logically comes on.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
You're back.
Right, apologies to everyone in both streams for the horrible whistling noise that came about there. Hopefully it'll stay stable now.
Okay. Is that the mixer again, or was that just cabling issues? Or
no, because I'm using the microphone on the camera, something went hinky with that. And that decided it was going to start feeding back on something. I don't know what. The mixer is turned off and decommissioned, so I've got nothing running through the mixer at the moment at all.
Okay. Apparently there's no voice on your stream, Knight. You're coming through to me fine, which means you're going out on mine okay.
Yep, that means OBS has picked up the wrong mic after all the faffing about. And there we go, I'm back on stream again. Thank you, Dav.
That's brilliant.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Isn't mutual chat useful?
Abso-fragging-lutely.
Go with Knight.
Go with Knight, it's his character, definitely.
Yep. Instead of the one I have consistently used since day one, because I'm crap at reading other people's writing.
Which is also why I've consistently used it in tweets, because I just copied it off throughout.
Yeah, it's medieval spelling. Everybody did their own thing anyway.
Yeah, this is true. There's no official spelling on anything in this kind of thing.
I can adjust it if needed. I took it off what I wrote on the top of the page.
That's absolutely fine.
No, your GM's incompetent. There's not a reason for the player to change anything. So, yes. What did you get on your endurance?
I got 7.
Your hand...
My dice hate me today every bit as much as they do on any other game.
Your right hand is starting to cramp up quite badly. Yeah. You're not sure you're going to be able to maintain an effective pressure on it. The pain is spreading up your forearm and into your shoulder.
Yeah.
There is a Merian here.
Actually, it might not be.
Okay.
Let me just double check.
Is endurance one of the ones you can re-roll?
Nope, that's what I was double checking.
Okay, I didn't think it was.
It's resist coercion or courage.
Yeah.
I was hoping endurance might be there, but no.
Right. Otherwise, yeah, you've your resources at the moment are you and Merian and the contents of a tailor's shop.
Yeah. Which, if I had any kind of decent craft or first aid skill, would probably be quite useful being in a tailor's shop with all that cloth. But unfortunately, it's not.
Okay, then. So
Hamish's best option is to try and pick her wound, but he hasn't got his thieves' tools with him, so he can't do that.
So is he just going to try and carry on as he has been doing?
Yeah, that's all he can do, really, is just carry on as before.
So she's now going to start making body checks.
Now with more swearing.
Okay.
I would say with 20% extra added swearing.
Right. Hamus, your right arm has started burning. You're in an awkward position, basically.
Yeah.
I don't mean it spontaneously caught fire, obviously.
He's basically just going to keep doing this until he actually can't.
Right.
I mean,
And
there's
Dagrid.
going to come a point where the body checks are backed up by courage checks, because it's going to be resisting the pain more than actually physically can't do it, isn't it? It's going to be the issue.
And you have in fact
resist coercion, actually.
Resist coercion would do it
as well.
Yeah, resist coercion would actually
do it. The one
that
I don't have points in, so it's probably going to be that one.
Better of resist coercion or courage.
Oh, that'll be courage.
I think the Nilfgaardians are the ones who like pain.
I resemble that remark.
Oh, come on, all that highly polished armour, you're not telling me there's not something going on there.
Right, well, my arm may well fall off.
Okay.
Because I got 24 on my courage check.
Wow.
So no amount of pain will cause me to stop applying this pressure.
Yep. You have, you've had worse. That day you had to hoe an entire field on your own as punishment.
He's suddenly moved. He's no longer Skellige. He's now a northerner. I can check it. Nothing. Bad worse. Don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Yes, exactly. 24 proof. Hang on.
24 proof. 24 proof isn't very much, really.
No.
I want at least 150 proof in this situation.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh
yes,
boy.
I'm doing this sober. Wish I wasn't.
151 proof.
Yay.
But I need another bottle, because look at that, that's almost gone.
Yes, you do need another bottle. So Tuesday then. So that's going to be enough time. So you are sprinting back to town.
Yep.
Right. You feel the beat of the cloth-wrapped feet and can indeed make it into town, which is now filled with villagers and small children poking at skulls and bits of dog, and people
I'm ignoring
in
all of them.
clusters. Okay, good call.
There is a woman bleeding out. Yes. She has priority at the moment.
Yeah. Nobody else seems to have approached. Wasn't talking to you. Google just decided I said something. Yes, nobody else appears to have tried to approach Tilda's house. The shop.
I don't think anyone really has a reason to, do they? I mean, we were specifically told there was a problem inside.
Yeah.
For all we know, there's somebody been bitten in every house in the street. We just don't know about the others.
Yeah.
Yes, and of course that I believe from looking at the map, Tilda's was one of the ones that had a skull and more blood stuff outside.
Yes. Yes.
So they'd probably be averse and stay away from that as a sign of warning.
Yes. Oddly enough, I was about to swap to the map. Where the beat of the cloth-wrapped feet. Just off the side of the map. There's too many flaming layers now. Right.
Yeah, so I'm terrace into here.
Yep. I'll leave that on there. It's just about on. So, yes, you can indeed.
Like to say, don't.
Don't.
Yeah. Just figured out why my camera was suddenly locking up, so I closed down the soundboard and music so that the camera would stop locking up. Just figured out what it was. It's because I opened an extra tab to bring up Night's stream and check on that. And while I like Cyberfox as a browser, it is so bloody resource hungry that apparently that's enough to cause trouble with my octa-core computer.
Yeah, that would do
Wonderful.
it. Hey ho.
Yeah, I mean, I've only got, 20 gigs of memory and 8 cores. It's not like I should be able to handle 2 browser tabs at the same time.
No, you're just getting petty.
Yes, I know.
Right, you can indeed barge your way in. Merian is sat off to one side, basically hugging herself and looking worried. And Tilda is spark out on the sofa. And Hamus is looking almost as bad as she is. His arm is shaking and his teeth are gritted.
That's fine.
It's okay, Hamus. I've got this from here. I found the healer woman.
Oh, well, if you insist.
So, apply the paste. as instructed.
Okay.
Amos will
She's
turn
unconscious,
away when nobody
so the
can
berries
see
are
his
clearly
face.
not needed. She's asleep.
Uh-huh.
If she's asleep, stop with the berries. She's asleep, stop with the berries.
Yep.
Now, sew the wound. Marion, how are your stitching skills?
What?
I suspect they're better than mine. We need to sew the wound closed.
But
You
that'll
there,
hurt
Taylor.
her.
What are your stitching skills like?
Yes. That will hurt her.
She's unconscious.
Right.
Unfortunately, the lady didn't tell me how to wake someone who was unconscious. I have these berries to help with the pain, but I can't give them to her if she's unconscious.
Right. Okay. Right. Right. Okay. She moves to just behind the counter and pulls out a neatly organised sewing box. How big a needle do we do?
I have never stitched a wound before. I do not know.
I don't even know what colour.
Colour's not a problem. Go with white.
Don't think the colour's important.
Right. Of course it isn't. She pulls herself together a little and comes over with a skein of thread.
In between her getting the needle and her actually starting to do anything, Amos is going to intercept her, take both of her hands in his, look her in the eye, and try and smile in a comforting manner. You'll do fine. It's all right. We're going to sort this.
Right. I would like for Amos then to make me... Oh, it's going to be empathy. It's either going to be seduction or charisma.
I would have said charisma.
Yeah. I think probably
empathy,
charisma.
Empathy's reading them, isn't it?
Empathy skills.
I mean,
Empathy's the stat.
Skills, yeah, rather, yeah. Of course it is. Empathy's the stat.
Yeah.
So... Oh, it could be deceit.
It depends if you believe it or not.
Oh, fine. I'll roll deceit then.
Okay.
I think she's screwed, personally.
Yeah. Lie to me.
And I get a +1 because she's human.
Yes.
Actually, I don't think I do I?
Yeah, you do. Oh, hang on. Is it on deceit?
I don't think it applies to deceit.
God. How is it you're finding every single skill?
No, it's charisma, seduction, and persuasion.
Oh.
It actually means my charisma and deceit are identical if
Yeah.
I'm dealing with a human, so
It's just the approach
we'll
you're
call
using.
it +4 either way.
Okay.
29. That's a 10 and a 9 on the dice there.
Okay.
You see, I have luck. I don't have good luck. I don't have bad luck. I have luck. Averages just don't feature.
Yeah. Right. So, she threads the needle and makes ready.
Yes, you know that, Megiddo. I know that. Drat probably knows that.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
nobody in this room knows that.
Amos et al. Haven't got a flipping clue.
No. She sticks the needle in at the corner of the wound, where it joins the intact part of the skin. And Tilda half opens her eyes and whimpers.
Give her the damn berries.
Tilda, we're going to get you better. We're going to see the wound. These berries will help with the pain. Have a berry.
Okay. Feeding a berry between her lips. Yeah,
Does she eat the
exactly.
berry?
She will allow her mouth to be opened, but she is very, very cold. Barely
Amos, would you
conscious.
see if you can find a blanket or something? She's very cold to the touch.
Amos will look for a blanket or something.
Okay. If nothing else, you happen to know they sleep upstairs.
Yeah.
So
that's
worst
what
case.
I was considering looking go upstairs for it.
Okay. And come back with a couple of blankets from one of their beds. Yes, you can crush the berry into her mouth, basically.
Yeah, that is what I will do.
And
hope she doesn't choke on it.
yeah, her mouth weakly moves.
Good.
And she swallows.
Would there be, in this setting, an equivalent of tea? Some sort of, warm herbal infusion of some kind?
Tea, in fact, is a thing.
About. He will, in fact, then go and start boiling some water and hunting around for tea leaves and so forth.
Okay, yeah. Tea is indeed a thing. Boiling water is a good course for it, a good way of using it. So yes, you can indeed. And the living area behind, at the back, start making tea. As famous Skellige dish. Right. So, yes, let's give Miriam a craft check. Yeah, that's fair enough. Inexpertly, because she's not a leather worker. And this is really not...
Ironically, Tilda would have been better at this.
Tilda would have been better at this, yeah. Tilda is qualified for working in leather and things.
Of course, because she deals with the men's clothes.
She deals with the men's clothes. So it takes some little time and periodic reapplication of the berries as Tilda rouses. Her colour is poor, but with the blankets on her, at least she warms up a little. And after what seems like an eternity, the wound has been inexpertly but thoroughly stitched closed. You catch Marion attempting to do a double overlock at the end. You are what you train.
I have no idea what that means, but it sounds impressive. Right, so while she's sewing that, because it's going to be done soon, I'm going to start prepping crushing the plant and the root and making a poultice.
Okay.
To put that in a bandage over the whole wound.
Yep.
So that when she's finished, I can just go smack, drop it straight on there to stop any infections.
There is a strongly astringent smell coming from it as soon as you start crushing it together. And it stings your fingers.
I should have worn gloves.
Just do be careful when going to the urinal next.
I'm going to wash my hands first. Just like after making a meal with chilies.
Yep. Oh, God, yes. Okay. So, Tilda lies unconscious now as you place the bandage over her shoulder and tie it tight. You have no idea how effective this is going to be.
None at all.
But this is as good as you can do it.
I'm going to go to Miriam, look her straight in the eye. I won't touch her because I've probably still got astringent on my hands.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That is the most helpful thing I think you could have done here. You did very, very well. Thank you.
She colours slightly, and then her shoulders drop, and tears start. She hasn't cried up until now. Who did this?
Possibly the same person that wrecked the healing lady's hut.
Shadewind's hurt?
Hamus, you and I have to go back there. I need your help.
Right. Okay.
We'll need a cart as well.
Miriam, there's some tea on here. See if you can get some down Tilda as well.
Okay, I'll do what I can.
We'll do you both good.
Find out who did this, and I would very much like you to kill them for me. Is that okay?
I believe so, yes.
Good.
We'll see.
I'll certainly find them.
She heads out to the kitchen, and you start to hear clanking and...
While she's out in the
noises.
kitchen, Madame Shadewind's place was completely turned over. The insides were wrecked. They wanted to take her out as a possible assist for all this, I suspect. They've done some very nasty wounds to the lady as well. That's why I couldn't bring her back here myself.
Makes sense. If you're going to pull something this big, gestures towards the square outside. You need to make sure that anyone who can deal with it is not in the picture. That's going to
Precisely.
The soldiers don't have any sorcerers or anything, do they?
They don't.
Would I know the? I was about to say, would I know the answer to that?
Sorry, the soldiers, did you ask?
The soldiers, yeah.
You don't know about the soldiers. You're not 100% certain. Oh, hang on. Yes, you are. Because Bella sent for at least a healer.
Yes, she did, didn't she?
Not necessarily a sorcerer, is it?
No.
It could just be a healer.
It could just be a healer. But last night, yes, Bella sent for a healer.
Yes. We don't know for sure if they have sorcerers. But whoever did this to the town... And I suspect...
If you're going to do this, you need to make sure there's nobody who knows what you're doing, and knows how to stop it.
Yes, they blinded...
Local wise woman, obviously.
They've blinded her.
Any witches or sorcerers in town, but there's none of them, so...
They've blinded her and near enough crippled her. Which is why we need the cart to bring her into town.
Right. You can sort out a cart. You know there are barrows and things. However, you also are aware of the fact that the inn itself has a donkey cart.
Yep.
Hamish is literally just going to walk out of the door and look around for the first cart that he sees.
Yeah, that's going to be at the Burning Horse. The Smoking Horse, sorry.
Smoking Horse. Right, yeah, we'll take that one then.
Sorry, I keep glitching because there is a place called the Flaming Donkey locally.
Yeah.
And,
good lord, so there is, yes.
Yeah.
Blazing Donkey.
The Blazing Donkey, yeah.
I know it well.
And, yes, for some reason my brain keeps routing in that direction.
Can't think what that might be.
Yeah.
Given we're nicking the cart off people that I actually know, kind of, I am going to kick the door open as we're doing so and just yell, "We're borrowing your cart!" and I must apologise to everybody that while my accent has been terrible in every single episode, this session I just can't find even that bad accent. It's even worse than that.
Yeah, it keeps drifting north.
Yeah, I think it's possibly because I've got this cold and I'm just having a lot of difficulty with it.
No, I am grateful for you even being able to play. This session is not necessarily going to last as long as normal. It may spin on a bit, just because you're not necessarily up to your normal standard. Let's put it that way. You're playing fine, but I don't want you wasted completely.
Yeah.
Nice like that.
I do have problems. I keep losing my eyes periodically.
Don't say things like that.
I feel I should be playing the healer.
I was going to say, Madam Shedwin has the same problem.
Yes. Okay. So yes, you can make your way back with the cart around the bushes.
Yeah, I'm assuming we wouldn't get the cart through the bushes.
The donkey takes one look at the bushes and just goes, "No."
We won't fly through the asteroid storm second time round.
No.
Sorry, Blake 7 reference.
It's maybe.
Yeah, that's the one.
So, you can make your way back to the hut.
And not Back to the Future.
The table has been righted, and Shedwin sits on a stool in front of it, drinking something. You're not entirely sure what.
I shall knock on the door. Madam Shedwin.
Yes, this is after you've knocked on the door.
Yes.
You can see her do that. Yes. Come in.
I would like to say your carriage
tired.
awaits, but a donkey cart was all we could muster.
Riding to Triumph, I see. Is the girl okay?
She's
I'm
resting.
going to say no.
Who's this?
This is Hamish. He's with me.
That's a bit of a strong assumption to make.
Well,
I'm with anyone,
for
I'm
now
with
at
Marion,
least.
but she's not here at the moment.
Hello, Hamish. I need to know what's going on in town.
Yeah, so do we all.
Just so.
And I can't see, so you'll have to tell me.
I suspect by the time we get there, you'll smell plenty of it.
Right.
But we will describe it in every detail you need.
Right, take me to my carriage.
I shall walk up, help her up from her chair, and then assist her to the donkey cart.
She closes the flask that she was drinking from by simply thumbing a cork over it. As I said, you're not sure what's in there, but it smells fruity and probably about 100% proof. Right. You can then, help her back to the cart.
Hitherto now known as the carriage.
As the carriage, yes, and take her down into town. Right. There is massed confusion in Galasweyn. There are now some red-tunicked guards who are poking at skulls with their spears. And people are huddled in groups. Everybody looks very scared, and whispers are flying around.
What sort of whispers?
Well, as you head back into town, an awareness check will take you.
Or possibly not. Just how bad is that 2 going to leave me?
Oh, people are sort of falling quiet as you head past.
I've got 12 awareness. I'm much more aware.
Yeah, it's a shame you did 13, isn't it?
The 2 was the die roll.
Oh.
So 11 plus 2 is 13.
Okay, 13. You hear some people, although they do genuinely fall quiet as you head past with the cart, whispering about the Black Devils.
Is that a thing might have heard elsewhere? Or?
That's your lot.
Okay, fine, right.
Yeah, Nilfgaardian battle armour is blackened plate.
Hence that, of course, yes, I'm in full bloody Nilfgaardian garb.
You are indeed, yes. All of the above.
Between the house and where everyone else is, by the way, Hamus will have taken the time to say to Madam whatever her name is.
Shadwin.
Shadwin. Somebody's been working something pretty bad here. Hex weaving of some kind. On a big scale.
Is there flame in the middle?
No.
Is there?
Good. What?
I'm assuming from the lack of fire in the middle of the thing on the map that there's no flame. So I'm going to take that as a no.
Flame in the middle, but
good. What did he use?
Dogs.
Seriously?
timing.
My dog is awesome.
Brilliant. Thank you. 3 XPs to your dog.
Bones and intestines.
Bones, intestines, dogs.
And skulls.
Those are bones.
Well, yes,
they are.
Specific bones.
Right. Okay. So there should be a pattern made of blood.
There is. It is a star inside a circle.
And it's made of blood, yes?
Yes.
It's actually made
I
of
remember
intestines.
rightly, wasn't it made primarily of intestines?
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Made primarily of intestines.
That's the intestines. They made a star out of guts.
They are bloody
blood.
intestines.
There's blood all over.
There's blood everywhere.
Mainly, what, five houses?
5 houses. He tried to make a star in a star.
They don't match the points in the circle, though.
Well, that's what you get when amateurs do things.
Thankfully.
The star on the I would say the star on the outside's upside down.
Good. Right.
Is that good? I don't know.
Right.
Well, certainly it's
Is that where it's not meant to be? I don't know.
if the star on the ground is facing one way and the buildings as marked out by the skulls on the stakes are supposed to be a star, then yes, they are in opposite orientation.
Because we've got this miraculous ability to see down on top of the place as if we were flying above it.
This is why I'm sort of looking around.
Quite clever. Yeah.
You could climb up onto the roof.
I'm trying not to draw any conclusions that I wouldn't be able to work out from actually on the ground.
Yeah.
You know?
Make me awareness checks then, the pair of you. And indeed,
16.
and indeed deductions.
Oh, criminal.
Awareness together.
That's 14 on awareness. And
deduction is... Where's deduction?
The point of deduction that we got for being human, didn't I?
Yes.
I added that at the end of the last session.
Oh, geez.
Means...
So that's 19 before I add...
Whoa.
26 deduction.
Right. Looking at the layout of the square, you can see though it's the splodges on the map represent effectively bloodied footprints. They're where the packed earth has soaked up
bloody
blood.
Footprints here. So
looking at it, you can see that there are clusters of body parts and blood in front of 5 of the buildings.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
it's where it looked
them.
like there were skulls or body parts or something that I was taking the DX style from.
Yeah. Yes. Looking at it, it looks like the bakery and Tilda and Marian's place are at the top, and yes, they would form the 2 points of a star. The smoking horse would form
with the other 3 points
other point down.
Smoking
Yeah.
horse in the centre. Yeah.
Yeah. The splodges of blood in between are footprints.
Yeah.
Somebody walked this. They specifically walked a circuit of it. So, your deduction, ridiculous that it is, can also find something of interest in those footprints.
Ho-ho.
The soil itself is hard-packed, but it's the top layer is of necessity. You know, the dawn, the dew has sunk into it, so you know mud always happens. It's just not sink into your ankle, it's sink up the top layer of the sole.
That's mud happens. That's the family-friendly version.
Yeah, exactly. That's the version everyone with toddlers knows. Mud happens in a bare, white, tiled room. Mud happens. I don't know how. And also that children are entirely made of elbows.
Yes.
Which are attracted to the most expensive item on the shelf. There's the father nodding. So, the footprints themselves are outlined in blood. They do not, however, lie in the dirt. They're all but imprinted on the dirt, on the earth. They don't sink in. Somebody walked very lightly.
I'm going to kneel down and take a closer look at these footprints.
I'm not thinking what I'm thinking.
Okay. What are you not thinking what you're thinking?
Well, out of character, I'm thinking that sounds like an elf. In character, Hamish likes elves and does not want to think this is done by an elf.
Okay. You can get your head down. There are clusters of flies on some of the worst gobbets of flesh around you.
Yes.
But you can get your head quite close to the footprints.
I want to try and study the style of boot that made the print.
Right.
We're getting CSI Galasweyn again here.
You're getting CSI Galasweyn again, except that we know that you have an interest in fashion and clothing.
Indeed we do.
But we also know you don't have any sunglasses to take off dramatically, so you'll never be able to solve it.
Damn it!
So, I am giving you a deduction roll. And you're getting it easier because of your interest in clothes.
Right. Deduction.
That just means I get to drop the difficulty.
If you tell him that whoever did this was wearing Nikes, I'm going to throw something at you. And I'll get a bus to Manscaped to do it, but I will.
I'm going to risk putting my last 2 points of luck into this.
Ooh.
Because I want to get as much out of this as I possibly can.
Okay.
Probably didn't need them. However, 17.
Right. That will do it. You've seen this style of boot before, but you've seen it stylized. The workmanship is elven. It's distinctively elven. It's the small stitches around the outside of the sole. It's the slight point to the boot. It's a heel just enough to hook onto branches to make climbing easier. And it's narrow. You've seen people attempting to either use this emulate this style because it is quite dainty looking.
Yeah.
And also when they've been making use of elven craftsmen. One of the few occupations elves can do without automatically losing their business. Because of their finesse with tiny stitching. But yeah, to your eyes...
Tailors there.
Yeah, to your eyes, this is elven workmanship, but this isn't high fashion elven workmanship. This is actually elf. Same to you.
How many people have gathered round at this point?
To be fair, most of the town, so you're looking at about 30 odd people. And a couple of the guards who are looking a bit baffled well, what do we do now? So are they having a fight? No.
Tell me.
Yeah, what?
You have a certain build about you. Stomp on the ground there for me for a second, please. I want to see the imprint of your boot.
What? It's a bit dinosaur. You get the feeling that it's hit the ears, but it hasn't yet managed to make it through the skull into the brain.
He's using a Nilfgaardian guardsman for this because he wants to gather empirical data.
So, I shall stand up to my full 5'8", which isn't that much, and in the Nilfgaardian tongue,
yep.
Troops, attention!
That
might get a better response.
This guy isn't Nilfgaardian. This is just one of the red cloaks.
This is a local guard.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was
yeah, but you have just scared the life out of him by shouting at him in Nilfgaardian.
Which hopefully will get him to stand to attention.
Oh shit, he just rolled a 1 on his courage check. Hang on.
Oh yeah, but he's human, he can re-roll it.
Oh, good.
Good point.
So he just rolled a 4 on his courage check. Okay. He steps back. All right.
Thank you.
Why?
I wanted to see the boot print in the floor, like I said.
Right. Okay. Where? Because I'm not stepping in that.
No, you're not. I want to see your boot print.
Right. He leans forward and places his foot quite deliberately.
Now, having now placed your foot, step away and take a look at the imprint your boot has made on the floor here.
He lifts the foot and exaggeratedly hops backwards. Can I put my foot down now?
Yes, of course. You may need to kneel to get a good look at this. See how the marks of your boot are large and, well, I won't say clumsy, but clumsy. There's a very blocky design. Now, if we look at this design here, made by the person that did this, it's a slender foot, clearly a person of light weight. They haven't imprinted the dirt very much at all. Now look at the quality of the sewing line down here.
He leans over.
Do you see that line there? Don't touch it, just look.
I'll take your word for it.
And see the point here
really
and
the right time to be admiring somebody's boots.
When it could identify the elf that did this, yes.
Well, it's a simple solution. We just find all the elves we can and we just kill the lot of them. What's the problem?
Well, no, that may not get the... That's a little blunt.
Jump into some awful conclusions here. Who said it was an elf?
Well, it's an elven boot.
There's no evidence this was an elf. Why would an elf even do this?
That is
Are there
actually...
any elves in town, for starters?
Well, no. We know there are not any elves in town.
There you go. There's no elves here, so why would it be an elf? There's no elves here.
I said it is an elven boot.
Well, could be anyone who's bought
Okay, so
from
who
elf.
here is rich enough to get elven boots brought in?
Can I have an intelligence check from the pair of you?
Just intelligence. 10. Tell me that's not a one, Fish.
It's a -2 total.
I'm just checking actually that it is
Not
just
as good as my
intelligence.
previous -3, but
Yeah, let me just confirm that it is just
actually no, my
intelligence. And
previous
I'm
one
not
was
being
a -1,
nasty to
wasn't
you.
it? Because I got -13 on the roll, brought me to -1. So yeah, -2 total is actually my new low.
Okay, technically it's actually going to be awareness. So I think that brings Dagwood up to having
Oh, if
made
it's
it.
awareness,
That brings me up to
much
15.
better. Yeah, if it's awareness, I've got 4.
Dagwood, there's at least
Yes.
one elf in town.
Oh, I know. I know. There's at least one elf in town.
Just checking.
No, I remember the conversation
Yes.
well.
Yes.
I'm backing up Hamus here.
I wasn't 100% sure whether you did in or out of character, and I was just checking.
The comment was completely in character.
Okay.
Out of character, I'm thinking we need to have a chat with the Squirtle chap.
Yep. Okay.
But in town. I'm not lying when I say there are no elves in town.
Right.
But yeah, no, I would very much like to talk to him because he can. There's a part of me that doubts he did it, but he would possibly know who did.
So elves. No elves. So who's got elven boots?
Well, that would be something I would expect the town guard to find out.
What, you want us to go knocking on doors? Look at people's boots?
Perhaps a little deduction. Perhaps apply some logic to this. You said yourself, who's rich enough to afford elven boots? Ask yourself that question. Who is rich enough to afford elven boots? And potentially has a grudge against this town. 2 questions. Does anyone fit the answer yes to both those?
Well, it could be your lot. They don't like this town because we're northern.
Think about that again. Because my lot is on a expansion what's the word I would use? Drive at the moment. That would also work. If we didn't want this town, why would the army invade it? More to the point, once we've got forces here, why would we cause this kind of problem in a town we've just gone past? It would cause more problems for us to have this here. My lot don't want this.
His eyebrows furrow very deeply as he tries to puzzle this one through.
Hamus is going to turn his attention to Madam, whose name I can never remember.
Shedwin.
And speak to her quietly. You said that it was a good thing that the style on the outside didn't match the style on the inside. Why is that?
Because it means he doesn't know what he's doing. It means that he has no magical abilities in his soul.
Why specifically was that?
Well, because I told him.
Him. So you don't know who did this. Why are you letting this argument carry on?
Because I'm in no hurry to see another pogrom.
I don't know what that means.
The last time an elf was accused of a crime like this, it was before I came here. And to be on the safe side, they burned all the elves. And then when there was complaints, they burned all the dwarves.
Okay, so that's bad about the dwarves, but we're getting that way with the elves already. Thanks to Big Mouth over there.
Yes. It was an elf that did this. I think he's insane.
Do you know his name?
Yes. He came to me for help. Look, can we do this somewhere other than the market?
Not really, no.
She doesn't look happy. Mind you, she's had her eyes gouged out and her wrist broken.
I mean, it's
She is
got to be
frankly...
difficult for her to look very happy.
Happy is a scale that she's on at the moment.
Look, let's be very clear about this. Things are going to shit extremely quickly. Now, the more I know, the more I can do to try and stop it getting too bad. So you keeping anything to yourself, to be completely honest with you, is a feckin' stupid idea.
He came to me last night. I think last night. I'm not sure how long ago it was. But as the sun was going down, he wanted to know how to cast a hex, how to curse somebody. The answer is not like this.
Who?
Henelin.
Who did he want to hex?
He wanted to curse someone to bring back a ghost. I told him it wouldn't work. I told him he was wasting his time. He's no spellcaster. And he doesn't have the anger in him to bring it back as a curse. He wanted to curse Madame Delgrin. He wanted her back as a ghost.
Right. That's not ideal.
If she's not a restless spirit by herself, you can't make her one. He didn't know her. He never met her. He had no connection to her. If you want to curse somebody, you need a connection.
She's got a connection to somebody.
But yes. He wanted Arian. He thought... And she laughs. He thought if the wife came back, then his wife would come back. Look, I'm sorry, I need a drink.
I don't think you do. I think you need to stop beating around the bush and just tell me what you know. Because right now, you're saying everything but anything useful. Very clear from what you're saying that you know a lot more than you're telling me.
Last night was not the first time I met Henelin. He came to me...
He's been around a while, I know, I've met him.
He came to me when he first arrived. Wanted to get the lie of the land, wanted to, wanted his wife back. Apparently she'd gone to work for, as he put it, a local thief. But I don't think he was being terribly complimentary. She went to work for a man and left him. Now, the man had a wife. The wife was unwell. I did my best to treat her, but she walked in her sleep, suffered headaches. She wasn't well. And then one day we found her in the river.
So you're saying Helen's wife was Arian's nurse?
Gwynedd.
Right. Why could you not just say that?
It's difficult. I can't believe that she has anything to do with it, but he's very upset that she left him.
Yes, well.
And he was convinced that cursing Delgrin with the ghost of his dead wife would convince Gwynedd to come back to him, abandon the whole thing as a lost cause.
How many elves are there in town?
None, as far as I know.
Right. Well, thank you for that. You can get that drink now. And he will walk away and leave her there.
Okay.
He's not impressed.
Oh, you're a charming soul, aren't you?
Yep. He is a criminal.
Yes.
Hamus, despite his charm, is not actually a nice man.
No. To be
right
fair...
at the moment, he's kind of getting to a point where he's had enough of this town. Maybe it's very nice and all, but don't know that it's enough.
Right. So, having buggered off, what's your plan?
His plan is to go to the smoking donkey and get a drink.
Smoking horse and get a drink.
Smoking horse, even. As you go to the blazing horse or the smoking donkey, doesn't matter which.
Okay, so as he leaves, Shedwin sits down on the back of the donkey cart and takes a long pull at her flask.
She's probably far stronger than what he's about to get from the smoking horse.
Okay. The door stands open, and Beltran is not behind the bar, he's in the doorway.
Yeah.
Bad doings. Hang on, he's from Morecambe. He actually is Northern.
He is Northern.
There's bad doings.
Sorry, I'm just going to stop being Northern now.
Now vengeance.
Aye, that it is. Bad enough I need a drink.
Fair enough.
Don't you worry, I'll help myself and leave the money.
He looks you up and down. You see you do.
I shall grab myself a pint and leave I believe it's 5 rounds on the bar.
Okay. You can indeed.
And then I'll sit at one of the tables nursing my pint and brooding.
Okay. What you brooding on?
What the quickest way to rip this town off is. I don't think Tamra is going to go for it, but Hamus right now just wants to find the quickest way to steal something and get the hell out of Dodge.
Okay. I told you plots rumbled on whether you got involved with them or not.
Oh yeah, no, they're always doing your stuff, and that's cool. We like that.
It's a nasty little town. No, it's a surviving little town, or it was.
I have returned.
Okay.
My dog is still barking at crazy things. I don't know what.
Okay. So, you've just seen Hamus has just exchanged words with Shadwin and then stalked off into the tavern.
In low tones, but it did get heated at a couple of points.
Okay.
Shadwin is now sitting on the donkey cart, drinking heavily.
Well, Hamus is sitting in the smoking horse, drinking heavily. Actually, he's not drinking heavily, he can't afford that.
No. You're loaded.
So, now I've got the two guards thinking. Who in town could afford an elven cobbler? And want to do this? Perhaps, if you talk to your captain of the guard, whoever that may be, he might give you some advice and point you in the right direction. Excuse me.
Versnack. And they go toddling off. up the road.
I'm going to go and see Madame Shadewin.
Okay. She is sitting, downing a large amount of whatever is in that flask. Your
Madam.
friend is very rude.
Friend is a bit of an extension. A young lady needed help. She went to him. I was within earshot.
Right.
So, you said someone with a knife did this to you. Do you know who it was?
Well, I just told the rude one.
Oh.
Young man who's hurting. Young elf who's hurting.
I wouldn't say that too loudly if I were you.
Well, at this rate, anybody who even so much as lives in a forest, in the woods, is going to be on the next pyre.
Indeed. Is there anything you need from me to assist here?
I understand they have good healers with the army. My skills are no good on myself. If you could send a messenger. Look, I've told this to your not friend. There's a man, I thought he was just hurt. His wife had left him. But last night he came demanding knowing how to create a hex. How to curse someone to summon a ghost. I was reluctant. And when I was reluctant, he did this.
A man whose wife had left him. An elf whose wife had left him? Oh.
She joined the Scoia'tael to be with him, but clearly living in a tree didn't sit well with her.
I don't suppose his name was Halinin, was it?
Yes.
Oh dear.
Yes. I mean, he's no mage. He's no wizard. He knows nothing of magic. Not real magic, but...
So, what are the, other than the obvious, immediate repercussions of this? Could we be seeing anything untoward coming in the near future?
Well, from what you've described, this is no good for anything. I fear that if he can't manage by magical means, I worry he might attempt something unpleasant. He may try and steal her away. He may try and kill her employer.
So, his wife is employed locally?
His wife's the nurse, Gwynedd. Poor Arian's nursemaid.
That explains a lot.
I mean, from what I saw, and she laughs bitterly, he's she set her sights on Delgrin. As far as I know, he had no interest.
Oh, he had
wife.
absolutely no interest. I've spoken with Delgrin. He still loves his wife.
Well, Gwynedd is of the opinion that now the wife's gone, there's nothing to stop her moving rooms, I would imagine.
Oh dear. I'm going to lower my tone a bit to say this next thing. Would it be feasible that said shunned gentleman would engineer the death of the woman to whom his beloved was tending?
I'd hope not. He struck me as such a lost man, initially. But if he was angry... He's more direct, I would have thought. But I don't know. I mean, Arian was not a well woman. She wandered at night. Now I'm wondering if she got there on her own.
Quite.
But I now fear for Delgrin.
Justifiably so, I believe. Thank you very much. I will get a messenger sent up to the soldiers for you.
That would be appreciated. Now, how's the patient?
Shall I take you to her?
Please. I can't do much, but I can do something. And I'd rather do that than sitting around here.
Understandably. So I shall escort Shadwin across to Tilda's place.
Okay.
Knock on the door.
Yep.
Obviously, rather than just barge in. As Marion opens the door, Marion, Madame Shadwin would like to see the patient, but she has been through an ordeal herself. She is not
see that.
as you would normally expect to see her.
Right. Tea.
Yes, she will need your help.
Please, come in.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an errand to run for Madame Shadwin. Which point I'm going over to the inn.
Okay. You can see on Marion's face as she lets Shadwin in, her face is shocked, but her tone is friendly and relatively light. Almost like she just rolled a 10 on her courage check. So yes. Okay, yeah, you can head into the inn.
I shall look for Hamus.
Hamus is currently being bugged by a cat. Hamus is currently having a pint. Alone.
Might I disturb your drink, sir?
I've had enough of this town. Looks around to make sure that there is nobody who can overdo it.
Literally the only person that you can see in here is Beltran, and he's in the doorway watching the marketplace.
I just want to find something to steal and get out.
You don't fancy saving another life?
I don't give a toss. There's no lives here worth saving.
I think there is one life worth saving.
Who's that?
The merchant. He loved his wife.
Care about him as his money.
Then perhaps he will pay well for a bodyguard that will save his life.
Do I look like a bodyguard to you? What about our relationship up until now makes you think I'm a bodyguard?
You have a point.
We're thieves. Let's steal something and get out.
Do you have a mark?
Not a good one. I know where the wages are kept at the privates, but we'd never get away with it.
And with the army advancing, we couldn't go north. The merchant is well housed and probably has good coffers. I haven't seen a store locker for an of it yet, but he does have a party, and you are invited. Maybe we can hit two birds with one stone. Save his life and rip him off on the same day. He'll be so happy about not being dead he won't notice.
Maybe.
Which brings me to the next stage of my question. I gather you know who did this.
Well, that depends.
And I know the why.
I mean, thing is, all the information we have on who did this and why, all comes from that shifty bitch out there.
Yes.
I trust her as far as I could throw a drowner.
Well, maybe we should go ask him.
you can find him. It's not going to be easy.
I need to get a message up to the Privates Club anyway. We'll have a look on the way.
If I wake up with an arrow in the back of my head, I'm blaming you.
Of course.
Right. And yes, I know I say right way too much. Sue me. Right, let's have a look. You, neither of you have wilderness survival, do you?
Don't be silly.
Yes.
What does that come under?
That comes under intelligence.
Oh yeah, there it is, right under teaching and tactics, but neither of which I have also.
No.
So,
Amos thinks that wilderness refers to any part of the town that doesn't have a bar.
Right. In that case, I would very much like the pair of you, as presumably you are currently heading out on the road to the privates.
It does seem that way.
To make me a wilderness survival check.
13.
Thank you for that vote of confidence, Mickey.
Right. Okay. Make me a... wait for Fish's roll.
14. It's an intelligence check, because I don't have wilderness.
Yeah. Was that 14, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like you both to make me an awareness check, please. You're looking at 15 in total in order to succeed.
Oh, well, never mind.
Yeah. 20 in total?
I got 10.
Okay.
I've got
Amos.
12 base awareness.
Oh, God. Yeah, so you're rolling like you today, then.
Yep, indeedy.
Right. Okay. So you can indeed find absolutely bugger all, Amos. You're looking along the tree line on the left-hand side of the path.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because elves live in trees.
I think Amos is just spending the entire time, based on that role, he's spending the entire time looking at his feet.
Yeah.
And scuffing them like an annoyed teenager.
Don't understand. You're so unfair.
Just not fair.
Yeah. Okay. Whereas your eyes fall upon the riverbank and you see a clearly outlined boot print in the soft mud.
Boom, boom.
He's over this way.
It is pointing towards the river.
Well, either the drowner's got him, or he's been hunting drowners. Hopefully the latter. That way we don't have to.
Met him before.
Now, does the boot print go into the river or just along the edge?
Along the edge.
That's a relief.
Yeah.
Let's follow the boot print.
I'm not quite that nasty. Okay, yes, now you know his traces. I will take...
Just out of interest, this first boot print that I've found.
Yeah.
I'm going to take to a knee and give it a good look. Is it the same boot print?
No deduction roll needed. Yes, it is exactly the same. I mean, right down to the ivy trails carved into the leather of the... Yeah, it is the same.
Well, the bad news is that this boot print matches the boot print I saw in town.
Okay.
It's not like there's many more around here.
I didn't want to believe it any more than you did. I liked the chap at our first encounter.
Shadewin definitely seems to think he's losing his marbles.
I'm yet to go quite that far down the line, but certainly on an empirical level, it's the same boot print, it's the same guy.
Yeah.
There may be other reasons why he's done this.
Mm-hmm.
He may not be quite as batshit crazy as she thinks.
He lopped her eyes out. That kind of knocks you several rungs up the...
Yeah.
No, that's just efficiency. If someone can't see what they're doing, they can't heal and they can't counter. It's logic.
On the other hand, cutting their throat does that job as well. So.
I'm trying to be nice to him.
Be nice to the psychopath.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm hoping we don't have to kill him, because we can't.
This is the problem with The Witcher. There are very few right answers to things.
Oh, yeah.
There's a right answer. The right answer is steal something valuable and get out of
town. And I'm pretty sure the merchant's got plenty of valuable things we could steal. But we need to steal something that's not so unique as to be his, so that we can fence it later. Or find his coin cache.
Yeah.
Anywho.
So it's not his clock and not the painting of his wife. But yes.
Yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't dare touch the painting of his wife. Yeah. I think if anyone did, I would be chasing them down.
Yep, fair enough.
You should just be glad that while Hamus is not a nice person, he's not quite an unpleasant enough person to aim Helinin at Delgwyn and then steal everything while they're busy.
Okay, I would like awareness checks. Now you know what you're looking for.
I did better when I didn't know what I was looking for.
19?
Oh, the better.
15.
Okay, that's good enough for the pair of you.
Yay.
The boot prints appear sporadically alongside the riverbank and then turn left, not long before your tree.
They don't turn left towards our tree, do they?
They turn left in the direction of the copse that your tree is the front part of.
I bet he was using it for a cache as well, wasn't he? The sly son of a glitch.
But they definitely head up into the copse, where the undergrowth is thicker and there are sporadic trees up the hill.
Okay.
Another awareness check to carry on trying to
find
the trail.
Any sign, have we seen since we headed out this way, any signs of anyone else in the area at all?
Not here, no.
6.
Okay, you cannot track an elf through undergrowth.
Nope.
26.
You, on the other hand, are familiar with elves and their wily ways through having played hide and seek in woodlands around Skellige, the Skellige Isle, with your little friend. And you recognise the occasional broken leaf and a bent piece of wood where otherwise thorns would have pierced a thin boot. So you can make your way up the hill. And as the trees start to thicken...
As we head up towards the thickening trees, he's going to surreptitiously draw a couple of throwing daggers from under his tunic. So he'll have
surreptitiously enough that I wouldn't see, or?
That depends on how much attention you're paying to him. The idea is basically that if he's being watched by an elf, he doesn't want that elf to know that he's got a dagger in each hand.
Well, I shall assume that I haven't seen that, given my awareness roll.
Yeah. It's going to be the hilt in his hand with the blade running up along the inside of the forearm, so that it doesn't look necessarily that he's holding a pair of daggers.
Okay. As you face the tree line, as this becomes actual tree woods instead of simply some trees with undergrowth associated, you see ahead of you movement. And an arrow is placed neatly between the two of your feet.
Hey Lennon, is that you?
My friends from the river. This is in Elven. So it's the same language you both speak, but you're looking at a -2, so it sounds like it has an odd accent.
What have you got against dogs?
They were convenient and they were there.
So you don't deny it, then?
Why would I? What business is it of yours? Make me a human perception check. And you're -2 to your roll because he isn't.
Because he isn't, yeah.
Human perception is...
That's 14, including the -2.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
-10, including the -2.
Okay. Hamus. This is not the same tone by a long chalk as he had when he was talking to you in the river.
No, it's not.
It's a very different sound to his voice.
I may not actually be local, but right now I'm living in this town. So if you've got a problem with someone, you leave the rest of the town out of it, okay?
This whole town is a corruption. This whole town deserves what's coming. Just because they don't have the guts. Well, if I could, I'd kill them all, but I think just some kind of resurrected haunting would do the job. I take it didn't yet.
It's very difficult having a conversation with a tree. Do you mind stepping out where we can see you?
Why would you
I'm going to surreptitiously draw my dagger.
Oh, for God's sake. Hang on. Yeah, fair enough. As far as he's concerned, you're having a party. -11?
Wow.
Yes. Because I stopped rolling. There is movement ahead. And one of the trees, the shadow, just steps to one side and separates into the man you saw before. There. He is holding an arrow nocked to his bow.
You've looked better.
Had some bad news.
Well, I take it.
His teeth are gritted, and his eyes are red.
His eyes are red.
Rimmed. Don't worry,
Rimmed,
it's not.
right.
We're not talking Skyrim vampire here.
Okay.
Don't panic.
Look, I know you've got troubles.
Troubles.
And I know you think you're trying to sort them out. But it's not going the way you want. And what you want, frankly, is mad anyway.
It's madness. Are you calling me insane?
Calling your plan insane.
It's perfectly reasonable. If this, and he uses a term that is not the most complimentary.
Rude elven term. Yeah.
I keep wanting to say swit, and that's Morrowind.
Yeah, it'll do.
Yeah. If this man's killed by his dead wife, that would just be justice for him stealing mine, and then she'll come back to me. She always comes back.
So she's done this before.
She's a flower, but you can't expect a flower to flourish in the cold forest. It's not for everyone.
So she's done this before.
It's not her fault.
I'm going to take that as a yes.
You take it any way you like.
So if she's done this before, and she comes back, then why in Melitelli's name do you need to do anything except wait?
Because this time she's going to marry him.
No, she's not. He's not interested.
Don't be ridiculous. She's beautiful. She is the light.
Maybe, but he had his own light. Just because she's dead doesn't mean he's going to look for another one.
Don't be ridiculous. Everybody knows you breed like rabbits.
In this case, he's not ridiculous. I've spoken to the man. I've heard him talk about his wife. He still loves his wife.
We may breed like rabbits, but at least we don't think like squirrels.
You can see the nostril flare from here. Make me a human perception check.
Both of us?
Yep.
Still with the minus...
Yes.
What was it, -2?
-2, yes.
Okay, so that's not very... That's 8.
Mm-hmm. You have no idea whether he's actually pissed off or not, or just genuinely insane. Yeah.
14.
I'm hoping that's what I was going for.
Yeah. Yeah. He's. Oh dear, that did not go down well. That really didn't go down well. Not just annoyed. That hit something. That hit something hard.
You need to change your plan.
What do you think my plan is? Since you apparently know everything.
Well, since you know shit about magic, I think the next step is going to be to take that, pointing at his bow and arrow, and put it in Delgrin's head.
You know nothing
That's
about me.
a bad plan. I've got a better one.
Oh, do you? And what do you know?
I know... what was the wife's name?
His or the dead one?
His.
Gwynedd.
I know how to get Gwynedd out of that house. Quiet, with nobody dead.
You're lying.
Why would I lie? What's in it for me?
It's what you do.
No, it's what he does. I steal.
He's right there.
Oh. He looks baffled for a moment.
Sudden bout of honesty from Dagrid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's exactly my point, isn't it? It's what I do. I steal things.
What do
We
you...
just need to look at her as a thing, not a person. If she's a thing, I can steal her. And if I can steal her, I can sell her to you. What's she worth?
She's everything.
Right? So, how much is everything? What have you got?
Are you bartering my wife?
Yes.
He looks utterly bamboozled. Let's see how bamboozled. Yeah. He looks utterly bamboozled at your honesty in that. Reaches behind him without looking and pulls out a sword. A long, slim blade. With his left hand.
Until she figures out Delgrin doesn't want her, she's not coming home on her own. And if you try anything to get her, you're going to wind up dead. You may get him. But there's a town and a feckin' army here. And they will come looking for you. And you will be as dead as Delgrin's wife.
And if you're as dead as Delgrin's wife, you won't have Gwynedd.
He looks agonized. This is all I have.
Apologies for my dog.
He holds out the blade. This is all I have. it's yours.
Harvey,
If you bring her to me.
our opportunity comes in 2 days. There's going to be a party. I guarantee you Delvin will spend that party staying out of your way.
Why?
Because I will keep him occupied.
Want her.
He doesn't want her, and
Oh.
I can keep him talking so he's not even looking at her when Hamus ushers her out of the building.
He's going to avoid her. She's going to avoid every other man in town because she wants him. That leaves me an opening.
And you can do this.
I can do this.
You swear you can do this.
I can. But for the next 2 days, you have to keep your head down. Not attract any more attention.
Did she live?
We don't know yet.
The witch.
We don't know yet.
Her
wounds were severe.
I didn't want to. But I couldn't have her stopping me. Two nights. Bring Gwynedd to me in 2 nights. Or I kill you,
plan.
and I kill Dilgwyn. And then I kill as much of this town as I can.
3 nights.
Agreed.
We have the opportunity to take her in 2. We can't bring her straight to you. The night after, we bring her to you.
Don't betray me.
And one last thing.
What?
The reason I'm here, not at home, is I don't really get on with Sky. It's 2 groups of people that I grew fond of as a kid. One was elves. The other was witches. Right now, I'm walking a fine line. You piss me off, I side with the other one. Am I clear?
Crystal. And he vanishes back into the shadows.
As he is vanishing, I'm going to throw a dagger at the tree next to him.
Roll it.
And I'm going to put... Ooh, how much luck do I want to put in that?
It's 10:30 if that helps your judging of the luck.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I'm going to put 9 luck into this. No, I think I'll put 4 into it.
It is 10:30. This is the last roll of the night.
Yeah, I know, but he might shoot back before the end of the session. I might need to dodge. So, let me see. 7 plus my dexterity is 15 plus the die. Okay, so with 15 plus the die, I get 11.
Is that including your luck?
That's including my luck.
Should have put the 9
Wow.
in.
The 15 plus the die. The 15 included the luck. Yeah, I got 11.
Okay. Let me just check.
Maths doesn't like me. 15 plus a d10 equals 11. That's bad maths.
No, it was just bad. Just bad luck. You did a bad thing. Okay.
But I don't know him.
That's actually good enough to hit a stationary target.
Yeah, a tree is not a hugely difficult target.
But instead of impressively sticking in, it
it's
bounces
not
away.
intimidating, sticks into the tree right
No.
by any stretch of the
It
imagination.
doinks away. And you're sure you hear a chuckle.
Yeah. And I'm also sure I'm not going to find that dagger again.
Never again. No, never, no more.
-1 throwing knife.
And, assuming that you then progress to the Privates Club to alert the Nilfgaardians that Shadewood badly needs access to their healer.
Yeah.
We will leave it there. And you can judge what you're going to do, and the party will be next week. We reach our thrilling conclusion before Christmas.
Indeed. Fun, fun, fun.
Yeah, I have no clue what I'm going to do.
Yep, big
I
hat.
have nothing even remotely resembling a plan.
You have a week to come up with one. Big hat you've been wearing.
I have a plan.
Absolutely, damn it.
Excellent. I look forward to it. So, this is a farewell for those watching on YouTube. So, thank you for sticking with us, and I hope you enjoy this episode and next episode. So, feel free to subscribe. We're always appreciative. And
If you enjoyed it, hit like as well.
Yep.
Let's get those likes up.
Yep. And if you have any comments, questions, or anything like that, stick it in the comments underneath, and we always learn.